Berm trees and subdivisions, just around the corner from where I live.
Yes. So what we've come across, I suppose, is that there's different policies for different people. So developers have one sort of policy, and then council have another policy. And what seems to be happening is that developers plant some trees that look really great when they're little and help them sell their properties. But then when the trees grow big, they become a very expensive problem for council, damaging driveways, berms, curbs, fences, that kind of thing. So we've come up with a recommendation, I suppose, that that there's an integration between those different things, so that we can avoid these problems and save the council a whole lot of remediation.
Yep. Pauline?
I'm very surprised that we don't have that integration at the moment. So my question is, how old are these trees in question?
How old is it?
That subdivision's been in for about, less than 10 years, I think.
Yeah, so
about 10 years old. Can someone help us out on this? Who's out of their tree?
I would have thought this is a really integral part of the resource consent and a design.
A truncated report. We could branch out into new areas. We practiced all of these puns at the Strategy and Finance Committee. You could take a leaf out of the book. Are you able to help? No.
I think
you were going out on a limb there.
We lived there for a while, Leanne. It is a very young subdivision.
I'd
be surprised if it's over 10 years.
I think in the last council meeting we delegated the ability to alter the infrastructure design standards in a way, so we can take that recommendation and put it to the team that's working within the David Boothwaite came up and gave you that submission on the thing, so we can integrate that too. And I think the delegation said any major changes need to come back to you, but we'll report periodically. So we can pick up that recommendation, get the arbitrist just to make sure that we do align correctly if we don't. So we should certainly do that.
Yep. Right, but I think that what they were saying was that at the start, when a subdivision goes in, there has to be this, consideration of the type of trees.
And that's what the infrastructure design standards do, but I don't know the detail of the words in there, so we will pick them so that they are aligned.
Because also council picks up the operation of those trees, the maintenance. So we are heavily involved in the trees there. So
the wrong trees, it'd be very expensive.
Yeah, I mean, I live literally in the next subdivision, which is much older than the one we're talking about, because I did ask when I saw West Avon which part it was, and I have to say that living in a subdivision that's been designed by a landscape architect as opposed to an engineered subdivision is chalk and cheese. There are little pocket parks everywhere. It's very leafy, lots of trees, lots of grass, lots of, and it's just it is such a big difference to live in something that's been, really thought about for what it's going to be like developed in the long term. But I think you can't plant trees just because they look good. You've got to actually plant trees that are going to work with the infrastructure that's around them. Glenn and then Phil.
Thank you. We had deputations from two different streets in the subdivision. There's also Birkdale Street. A person in a wheelchair was tipped out over, branches. So these are non-earthquake damaged streets. It's costing the city a lot of money. If you check the tree policy, you find there appears to be a disconnect between what it says over ensuring trees are the appropriate size to the berm, etc., and what we uncovered was the RMA process and the IDS. So that's, we think this is more than just about this subdivision. It has citywide implications. It's ratepayer money, which we need to ensure is better spent. So,
Yep. No,
do we need a report on that, or
no? We've got a memorandum, and I'm just going to suggest by way of process that in future when these reports are circulated, that they're actually added to the agenda.
Okay.
Because it would be useful to have them tucked in together rather than remember that actually, oh yes, we got a memo on that on the 31st of August. Phil?
Oh, thanks, Andrew, for bringing this to you and your board, for bringing this to our attention. And I just want to check with Dave that when we actually look at the standards, will our whole biodiversity strategy be part of that? Because it seems to me...
This David, or which this David? Okay. Look, what I need to do is just, I'm just about to send an email off to the staff member now and just say, look, we need to get that integrated so we've got the alignment of them. I'm sorry, I don't know what's in there at the moment in detail, and I don't know how much has been considered. But that document, the IDS, has been put together by a collective group of staff, so it's not actually one group or the other, but we've now got a good way to manage it as we move forward, and it's a living document rather than a static document. So I'll make sure that they pull that in and integrate all our other policies as appropriate.
Thanks, Dave.
Yeah. Did you want to say something else?
Oh, it was just to guess just another point, I suppose, that did come to light when I was driving around the subdivision having a look, is that the berms are very, very narrow. They're barely 50 centimetres wide, and yet you put a great big tree in them. So maybe there's something there too to look at, that if they're a minimum width, you know, they have to be a metre of grass to be worth putting a tree in, because otherwise you're guaranteed problems. And if you've got to plant a big tree in a tiny little strip of grass, and it's they look silly too. They look weird. Yeah. It
might be worth doing a sort of, again, a workshop on, in terms of some of these subdivision design issues. Yeah. Yanni?
I just wanted to check with Dave that I thought the IDS went to the committee, but it hasn't come back through council yet. So I was just going to check if it...
I'll have to look. I thought it got approved, but I thought the ITI committee may have had delegated authority to do that. But I'll check. It may come back through as part of the
I think it's coming back to council.
Yeah.
And I think it would be really important that if we need to make changes around this or some wording, it would be good to just tie that in, if possible. I mean, there's also there's a lot of other things in there that are concerning. Maybe a workshop or something would be good, because it is very technical.
Mm.
So as the ITI committee are recommending delegation so that it can be done on a continuing basis, and that's what. But let's have a look at the report then and come through.
Yep. All right. So would someone like to move the motion? David, Glenn, I'll put that motion. All those in favour say aye. Those opposed say no. That's carried. Thank you very much.